Ashland Locke, a fictional character in one of the most enduring daytime series in American television history, The Young and the Restless, created a buzz on soap opera online forums when he met his demise. The manner of his death caused a lot of speculation from the viewers, and some of them believed that the 26 July 2022 episode wouldn't be the last time they saw him in the series. Based on the unbelievable twists and turns that the daytime series is known for, Ashland may resurface again, even if for now the police have declared him dead. The Young and the Restless is a CBS television network-created daytime drama series centered on the residents of a fictitious place in the U.S. called Genoa City. At that time, they never imagined that the show would transform the daytime series genre and improve the standards for creating socially conscious narratives. For almost 5 decades, The Young and the Restless, fondly called Y&R by fans, has bewitched domesticated and international fans. The fascinating storylines of the enigmatic characters from the families of Brooks and Fosters in their early years to the introduction of the Abbotts and the Williamses in the following decade captured the imagination of their loyal audience. It never wavered when it was the families of the Newmans, Baldwins, Fishers, and Winners who took center stage over the following decades. The soap became one of the pillars of the CBS TV network since it made its television debut on the 26th of March 1973. It generated competitive high ratings, which made it the #1 daytime drama series consecutively for 32 years after it took the throne from General Hospital in the latter part of 1988. It was William J. Bill Bell, one of the titans of daytime TV, who created Y&R, with the help of his equally talented wife, Lorelei June Phillip Lee Bell. His TV resume was impeccable, as he was part of the writing team of the third longest-running TV drama in U.S. history, The Guiding Light, and the successful soap opera As the World Turns. In 1966, he became part of another equally popular daytime drama series, Days of Our Lives, tasked as its head writer. Due to his courage in delving into the most controversial issues at the time, including sexuality, Bill turned the then struggling series into one of the most popular soaps. However, his achievements weren't enough for him, as he had so much creativity to offer, and by 1972, Y&R was conceptualized. However, the producers of Days of Our Lives sued him for leaving them, which he settled by providing them with long potential narratives for the show through 1975. He became the head writer of Y&R from its inception up to 1988, by which time he was more focused on creating its sister series entitled The Bold and the Beautiful, although he remained the executive producer of Y&R until the day he died. When Bill was given the green light by the CBS executives to create another soap opera, they wanted it to be youth-oriented. With this in mind, Bill and Lee initially named the series Innocent Years, and it became its working title. However, as they continued to work on their storylines, they realized that the teens at that time had already somewhat lost their innocence and thought that the title, The Young and the Restless, more aptly described the projected series. Back in the early 1970s, it wasn't easy to find the right actors for a daytime TV series because not everyone could commit to long hours of filming to complete a season. However, armed with many things he'd learned from his stint with other drama series, Bill joined forces with John Conboy, who was then the executive producer of the show, in organizing an audition. They patiently sifted through the 550 actors who auditioned for roles, and were eventually able to get their main cast members who at the time were considered to have model-type glamorous looks. It was an essential ingredient for them, since the Bells included sexual themes into their romantic narrative, which was a first in daytime TV. Fans of Y&R first heard of Ashland Locke in an episode in February 2021, as he was mentioned by Theo Vanderway, who was a social media influencer and a friend of Kyle Abbott. He first appeared in the show on the 11th of March that year, introduced as a ruthless and influential businessman. From the get-go, fans knew that he would create havoc in some of the lives of their favorite characters in the series. The role was initially played by Robert Burgee, who was best known as Detective Jim Ellison in the action crime drama series The Sentinel. However, he left the show in the early part of January 2022 for unknown reasons. A recast was immediately made, and the role was given to Robert Newman, which excited many soap opera fans. He had been part of Guiding Light for several years, half of a super couple with actress Kim Zimmer. Everyone in Genoa City and the world soon knew Ashland as a powerful media tycoon. However, Ashland Locke's real name was Robert Bobby DeFranco, a son of an abusive alcoholic father and an indifferent mother. The moment he turned 16 years old, he ran away from home with his friend Ashland Locke to escape the beatings he endured from his father over several years. Bobby and Ashland treated each other as brothers and even had matching tattoos. On the eve of Ashland's interview for a job with a news station owned by Camilla Rhodes, the friends had a vehicular accident that threw Bobby from the car, while Ashland remained trapped inside, without any pulse. Eventually, the car caught fire, which burned Ashland beyond recognition. With the fear of his father's taking him back if he called the authorities to report what had happened, Bobby just took Ashland's ID card and left the car burning. Everyone believed that it was Bobby who died that day. Tragic though it may be, Bobby saw it as an opportunity to make a new life for himself and assumed his deceased friend's identity. He went to the interview with the news station as Ashland Locke and was successful in acquiring the job, only made possible because Camilla Rhodes never met the real Ashland in person. His life changed over the years as she became not only his mentor but also his benefactor, and he learned all the business skills along with the ins and outs of a TV network from her. Both Camilla and her trusted lawyer Joseph Gaines treated him as if he was their own son, which didn't sit right with the lawyer's biological son, Joseph Jr. When Camilla died, Ashland was shocked that he didn't inherit anything from her because she believed that he could achieve his goals without financial help from her. With the help of Joseph Gaines, they forged her will and made it seem that she left all her wealth to Ashland. No one questioned it, as everyone saw that he was treated over the years as if he were her own son. To validate his identity as Ashland Locke, he created identities for his parents and named them Ian and Mary Locke, with a rather ironic backstory that they died in a vehicular accident. With the fortune that he inherited from Camilla, he established the Locke Communications Group by purchasing 2 other news stations. When Ashland arrived with his wife Tara in Genoa City, it was supposed to be a short business trip to sell one of his businesses, TYATR, as he declared that they needed to go back to be with their son Harrison. Due to several meetings with Kyle Abbott, he couldn't help but suspect that there was something amiss between his wife and Kyle. Apparently, his instinct wasn't wrong because Tara had an affair with Kyle, and Harrison wasn't his biological son, but Kyle's. All the interested parties knew the truth except for Ashland and Harrison. Tara wanted Kyle to avoid Ashland if possible, because her husband could be cruel and dangerous if he wanted to be. When betrayed, cornered, or angry, Ashland could be quite ruthless, and so he was nicknamed the Loch Ness Monster by everyone who had the misfortune to attract his ire. After he realized his wife's and Kyle's duplicity, he targeted Abbott's family business, the Jabbit, by making sure that each of their manufacturing plants was closed down, while denying being the person behind it. He threw his wife out of his life and divorced her. She was later arrested for misappropriation of funds. Ashland allowed Harrison to live with his biological father in Italy and made sure that Tara had visiting rights. Y&R produced another couple to root for during that season. After Ashland divorced his wife, he and Victoria Newman fell in love, in some sort of you and me against the world kind of love. She stood by him when he was diagnosed with stage 6 small cell sarcoma, and even denounced her own family when things escalated between Ashland and Victor. Since his health was declining, Victoria encouraged him to undergo chemotherapy, but he didn't want to because he was getting weaker. Ashland was concerned about the future of his businesses, so she arranged for their companies to merge and became business partners. Eventually, the couple became engaged, and he had his chemotherapy. When the news of his dismal health status reached Joseph Gaines Jr., he wanted to partake of the money that Ashland was about to leave behind. Ashland was blackmailed, and so revealed his past to Victor Newman. When Joseph arrived in Genoa to collect his money, Victor dealt with him. Ashland and Victoria were married despite the numerous attempts of Billy Abbott, Victoria's ex-husband, to ruin it. To ensure that Billy would stop bothering them, Ashland joined forces with Victor to bring Billy down. They set out a trap that made Billy write an article about Ashland's real identity and made it seem that his company's servers were hacked, which led to the article being leaked to the public. Billy was sued by Ashland, but didn't have any choice but to retract the story and confess that the article wasn't true. Ashland's cunning was on display again, as the situation kept his secrets safe and made any possible attempts in the future to reveal them disputable. The battle of shrewdness once again took center stage in Y&R, as Ashland and Victor played a cat-and-mouse game. When Ashland recovered from cancer, Victor was quite skeptical about it. He had the clinic in Peru where Ashland had his treatment investigated. Ashland initially deflected the investigations, but Victor was quite patient and eventually gathered pieces of evidence that exposed Ashland's fake cancer story. Victoria was completely mad when she realized that he pulled a long con on her family through her. Apparently, this was Ashland's revenge for what Victor had done to him in the past. Victor was trying to convince Ashland to sign off Cyaxaris to him, but the latter refused. However, when Ashland was having a heart attack, he was forced to sign because that was the only way that Victor could help him. Reacting to Ashland's cancer fraud, Kyle filed a restraining order against him, so he could no longer be with Harrison. Victor set a trap for Ashland to be caught in the park with Harrison, and the police escorted him to jail. They all knew that he would be out on bail soon, but it was something Victor felt would motivate Ashland to leave Genoa. Kyle told him that he shouldn't have included the boy in his con. Fans of Victoria were ecstatic that she decimated her husband, which was fitting revenge for what he did to her. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and Victoria ran her own con by making Ashland believe that she had forgiven him and that despite all his lies, she was willing to relocate and spend the rest of her life with him. She also convinced him to sell his assets and have them deposited in a joint bank account. He was livid when he discovered that she'd stolen the money from under his nose and exposed his fake illness. The perennial con artist was duped by the woman he deceived. When everything came crashing down on him, he had a major breakdown. Just as Victoria's family feared, Ashland's first business after he was released from jail was to confront his wife. He followed her to the house where they traded barbs and insults until it got physical. He threatened her, but Victoria's brother Nick arrived just in time to intervene. Ashland downplayed the situation, but Victoria told Nick otherwise, and so punched Ashland in the face. He fell, banged hard on the fireplace, and bled. When Victor checked him, Ashland had no pulse, which led them to believe that he was dead. Brother and sister stepped out to discuss what to do next, but when they went back inside the house, Ashland was no longer there, along with a pool of blood on the floor. They later received a report that he was found dead inside a car in a ravine. So much speculation went around online as Y&R fans discussed what happened to Ashland. Some viewers believed that he wasn't really dead, that he'd only staged his death and would return with a vengeance. However, in a later episode, when a suspicious Nick confronted his father about Ashland's death, Victor revealed to Nick that his men were watching them that fateful day and that he arranged to clean it up. He told his son they removed the body and put it in his car, drove to the ravine, and staged the accident. Simple. Nick wasn't that convinced that it was that simple, but Victor said that Nick didn't do anything wrong, but helped his sister who was being threatened. He also warned his son to forget about it, as the police would after they investigated and found no evidence linking them to it. With all the incredible, implausible, and unthinkable narratives that happens in Y&R, many loyal fans still believe that they hadn't seen the last of Ashland Locke. His storyline could be resurrected anytime, and with craftiness. He could be somewhere in New York, plotting his revenge on the Newman family and others in Genoa whom he felt betrayed him. Robert Newman posted a video on his official YouTube channel thanking the fans for the support and the staff of the show for the great experience. His parting words, "Maybe I'll see you again one day. You never know." Does he know something? Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.